Alright, this is a demonstration on how to use the 3D setup for an Integrex. It doesn't matter whether you're using mazatrol or EIA code. In my case, I'm using EIA code. So you go to that setup screen, then you go to 3D setup. You have to fill out these 5 tabs here. The first one is nothing but selecting this workpiece hold setup. I'll just use my finger here so you can see it easier. And there you're just, in my case, I'm using both the main spindle and the sub spindle. So I'm going to click them both and say OK. And then you're done with this first tab here when you push finish. You see it moves down to the next one. The second one is workpiece setup. In this case, because it's EIA, I have to have a workpiece defined in my database that I'm going to use, and that is the third one there. It is a 5/8 diameter bar that I made 4 inches long. Select it. Then you need to tell it that you're going to be giving it a reference point that's the face of it, right here. That'll become obvious here in a second. So then you just say OK. And that workpiece is now set up with the coordinate at the right place. And you say finish. The third step is telling it your fixture, which means your jaws. So you're going to go to fixture setup database. You need to already have your jaws defined. You do that on another page, not here. That's for chuck the main spindle. So I'm going to say that one is going to use these jaws. You can tell that it's set up as a collet chuck, and I use little tiny jaws for the collet chuck. Then I'm going to do it again, same tab here, but now I'm going to go to the second spindle, and I'm going to select my aluminum jaws that are 3-inch ones. Say OK, and now you can see the aluminum jaws popped up here. That's the 0 point of the machine. Anyway, I'm done with the third tab now, so I'm going to go on to hit finish, and it'll cycle down to the 4th tab. On the 4th tab, you're going to want to put in a base point first. You select this button right here. That tells it that you want to put in your work coordinate, work offset. And I'm going to use G54 and say OK. And you see it popped up my G54 right there in front of my main spindle. If you want to have a work coordinate set up for your sub spindle, or you just want to be able to see in your simulation here if it's right, you can do this again, and this time select G55. OK, and now you can see that it put a work coordinate G55 over here right off the sub spindle. OK, now we need to move this stock over to the G54. To do that, you go to 3D shape here. You go to model layout detail. It always moves the view when you do that. You can use these buttons right here, plane view. You can turn it to the side, or you can just manipulate it with your fingers. You can zoom in here. That's where we need to get to right there. Now we're going to be doing the point. So that's point. The point means the plane and the point. The point is the one you use for moving one point to another. In this case, it's that end of that fixture. The end of that workpiece, you need to move it to your G54. So here I'm going to say, well, I want to select. It's asking me with this little dialog box here, what do I want to select? And the only option for selecting stuff right now is a corner of the workpiece. So I'm going to just touch this, and it's going to turn that yellow. I'm going to say OK. Now it turns it purple with the dots, and I'm going to select that center dot and say OK again. What that did was that put these 3 zeros right here. They are the center of that workpiece. Okay, now it wants to move on, so it's moved the highlight from to to, because it already got the from field filled out. On the to field, what you're going to do is you're just going to move, you're just going to move this over until you get to where you can see, zoom out or whatever you want, so you can see your G54. And you're going to select the second button here, because now we're picking that point. Touch the G54, say OK. What that did was it filled out the second column here with the information that you need, and you can see what the resultant move command is going to do. You could do a preview of it if you want, and see that it's in the right place, or you can just execute it. Now once you execute it, and you zoom out a little bit, you can see that your workpiece is now in the right place relative to what you had defined as your G54. Now one more thing you're going to want to do is you want to go back to plane here, and I get this thing to give you a view again. Okay, I don't know why it keeps jumping around, it just does. So the other thing that you want to do here is you want to move your stock usually beyond your G54, so you have a little bit of metal to cut off, and that's by coming to this movement, typing in, I'll use 25 thou. Okay, that puts the 25 thou in that movement block, and now this button right here to the right, when I touch it, you'll see that this will advance 25 thou. There, that's all I wanted. And that's it. You're going to close this window, and you click finish. For EIA, you don't do the model convert, and it's done. It does not put a green checkbox for here. I don't know why. Somebody does, please comment down below and let me know why I don't get a green checkbox. But that's pretty much it. Now when I go to program virtual machining, I now see my chuck, my little teeny chuck jaws. They're important because they help you see if the chuck is spinning or not. And then if I go over to machine simulation, I can also see my subspindle jaws right here. And you're now ready to go ahead and start simulating the machining. And there it goes. Cheers.